Because ultimately, you want to create a character for your town or your city or the place
Hmm.
that you're at, and that certainly seems to be. I don't. I've lived in a couple of different places the last couple of years or so, and like Portland, Oregon was a place I was living for a while, and it was a place that certainly had a lot of character and charm to its exteriors, to its buildings, and they tried to facilitate that a lot in that city. And then coming back to the South, um, like specifically like in Southwest Louisiana, it's very, I would say, practical, right? Like
Hmm.
everything that's being built, it's like we're trying to put this up as quick as we can, make sure it's hurricane resistant, and then that's about it. Like in terms of actual form or like intrigue in form, it's just very kind of minimalist, right? And I feel like that's something that I see. It seems like that sort of style is a little more popular in terms of general trends happening
Oh
overall.
yeah,
I don't know if you would have any insight into that general trend. Is it like a cost efficiency thing, or is it like
exactly.
okay?
It's a cost efficiency, and then so like also like a lot of the larger name national chains or international chains like
Okay.
Wendy's, McDonald's, Popeyes. What they do is they have internal architecture teams that
Oh,
put together branded specific buildings, and then they will contract with the local architect to basically make the local architect run through the permitting process.
yeah. Like Taco Bell recently, I guess, must
Mhm.
have had some kind of wire go through the whole company. Like, we need to make all Taco Bells look modernized in this new way, or like
That's
McDonald's
exactly
had
what
that.
happened.
Yeah, yeah, McDonald's had that too.
That's like Wendy's came through, and Wendy's used to have kind of like a mansard roof, like a shingle roof on the outside. Not quite not quite the Pizza Hut extreme roof, but you could tell
Yep.
Wendy's by the exterior.
Yeah.
Well, what they did was they came in and they modernized it. So they pulled all that off. They put up metal panels of flat color, and they made it a box. End of day. You
Yeah.
cannot get more efficient when you are a drive-through based company than having a rectangle that the car circles around and gets the hell out.
Right. Burger King's still holding strong with their like 1980s ass looking building.
Yes. Yes.
That's true. Burger King really doesn't. I mean, they've changed their logo recently, but I don't think they've changed the design of their building at all.
Not really. And it's kind of sad. All the fast food companies, if you pull their logo off, they basically all look the exact same now for their
Yeah.
buildings. And
Now they do,
they
yeah.
used to
Before
all
they
have
didn't.
very unique
Yeah.
building format. You could tell a Taco Bell from a Pizza Hut, from a Wendy's, from McDonald's. They all had their own architectural style, and instead, I think because they kept getting kind of combined into these larger companies.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So Rainwater touched upon something that I wanted to see if you could expel upon a little bit, but in terms of the architectural design or just the urban design of an area, I'm curious to know what insight you can give us about what certain types of design elements or just whatever it may be evokes particular emotions. Like, so you had like a fascination with arches. Like, like what kind of an emotion? No, I'm serious because when you
I
go somewhere
really
where
had
there's
more
arches,
than
it's
just
supposed to
arches.
that there is a design element to the architecture or the design or whatever of areas that's supposed to elicit emotional responses from people, whether it's to focus them in on the work that they're doing or relax them in a park or whatever it may be. I'm curious to know like what elements create what emotions. Like what insight can you give us to that?
Sure. So also, I did like more than just arches for anyone still listening.
That's bullshit. That's all we
I was
talked about for
fascinated with
4
more than
years.
just that. Um, I also loved Art Deco, and I loved actually I pulled a lot of love in my architecture from film and television,
Hmm.
um, and having a flair for theatric in it. But that kind of goes to what Andrew's talking about here, which is buildings, especially when they're designed well. Uh, there is a level of psychology to them. So for one thing, yeah, you want someone to really be inspired when they walk in your front door. You're going to have a taller interior as soon as they walk in. So they might come in through a small, narrow foyer, and then when they get into the lobby, it's a 2-story lobby filled with light. And if you're trying to show that you are technologically sophisticated, you're trying to show them that you are cutting edge, you're going to have digital displays, you'll have large glass windows looking out into a park-like setting, things of that nature. That we do see that quite a bit whenever we go anywhere. At the same time, if you're trying to show someone like you're a financial institution, you're rock solid, they can trust you with your money, you might have more stone, you might have more solid material in your lobby on your building when you're walking in, because again, you're trying to reassure someone. Architecture really is a very big mnemonic device. We associate certain feelings and certain thoughts with buildings and how they look. We know when we go into a church that's somewhere unique and special because of how it's built on the exterior, how it's built on the interior. It's that same progression of kind of narrow to open, and then your view straight down a corridor to the altar, to where the preacher's standing at, and that is what your focus is. Where your focus is at. So there's that. And then when it comes to the exterior of the buildings and how you group buildings around it, something that's fascinating is humans are both I can't remember the term now, but basically we're both agoraphobic. We don't like being in crowds, but at the same time we don't like being alone. We don't like being in an open area by ourselves, which a lot of the 70s and 80s downtown cities, you had these public plazas, public parks that were big open fields, essentially, of either brick or concrete or whatever. And because the thought at that time was, oh, you want to be able to see what's around you because you don't feel safe. Well, that actually led people to feeling less safe, because now there was nowhere for them to kind of back up to. So that we want, as humans, to be able to back up against something solid, but at the same time look around us. Think of it as our brains want to be at the edge of the forest looking out across a plain. We know we have to cross a plain, but we like being in the forest, but we don't like being deep in the forest either.
Right.
Because people are walking.
Because at the same time, you don't get to see what's around you. So
yeah.